I'm Ashley Folan. I'm one of the art teachers at Beck Elementary, and I'm super excited to start a fun new project with you. So we're going to focus on the element of art line, and our project, we're going to learn how to create a contour line as well as repetitive lines. So let's get started. The definition of a line is a mark connecting two points. We're going to focus on contour line and repetition line today. When we talk about contour lines, we're describing a line that defines an edge or form. So it follows the visual edge of a shape. We're going to focus on a basic contour line, but you can also see a more detailed contoured line to the right, which not only talks about the outline of a shape, but also the inner details. We are also going to learn how to include repetition in our artwork. Repetition describes a line, shape, or pattern that is repeated in a regular arrangement. So we're going to use a variety of lines and repeat them in our artwork to get repetition. Before we get started, let's talk about the materials we're going to need. So you'll need a white piece of paper. It doesn't matter what size. And then also you're going to need something to create your shapes with. I chose to use aluminum foil because I had extra from my kitchen. But if you want, you can also use colorful construction paper, or if you don't have glue to be able to glue these items down, you can always just do your shapes freehand. Now, you'll need a pencil, scissors, and I use a Sharpie for my tracing, but you could use a black crayon or even a black Crayola marker. And then to fill in with color, you can choose if you want to use crayons, markers, paint, pastels, it's your choice. You might also want to get a straight edge or a ruler to be drawing our lines. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make our shapes for our project, and I'm going to focus on 3 geometric shapes. So maybe triangles, squares, rectangles, whatever's your favorite. And I'm going to do mine on foil. I'm just using aluminum foil from the kitchen, but remember, you can do yours with construction paper, foil, or you can just free draw it onto your paper. So I want to make sure that if I'm using large paper to make my shapes at least the size of my hand. If you're going to do it on smaller paper like I am, maybe just make it the size of your palm. And I'm not going to use a sharp pencil because it can go through the aluminum. So I'm going to use a Sharpie, or you could use a dull pencil to just freehand some shapes. If you prefer to use a straight edge or a ruler, that's great as well. And now I'm ready to cut these out. Now I'm ready to cut out the shapes. But remember, if you get behind on this project, it's okay. Since it's a video, you can just pause, catch up, and start playing it again. We're now ready to glue down our shapes. You can use either a glue stick or wet glue. Just make sure when you glue them down that you spread them out enough so that you have plenty of room to draw our lines in between them. Once you have all your shapes glued down, you're ready to draw the contour lines around each shape. Now, I'm leaving a little bit of space in between my shape and the line so that I can go in and fill in a variety of lines inside of that. You can use a straight edge if you'd like, or you can freehand. I'm using a Sharpie, but I recommend using a pencil first in case you need to erase, and then you can trace back over with a Sharpie or a black crayon. Once I've created my contour lines, I'm going to go inside that line, and in between the contour and the shape, I'm going to create a variety of lines. This could be straight lines, it could be wavy lines, maybe zigzags, dashed, dotted, castle. It's your choice. Now we're ready to create an outline of all of our shapes. I'm going to start with a ruler so that I can get a nice straight line. Now remember, if you don't have a ruler, you can either create a straight edge with a piece of paper, or you can do this freehand. If you notice, what I'm doing is I'm giving a gap between the shape and the line that I'm drawing, but I'm also making sure that this line follows the edges of the shapes that I have created. I'm going to do this on the bottom as well as the top of all of my shapes. Once you've completely outlined your shapes, you're ready to start repeating lines to create repetition. Now I'm going to still use my ruler, but you can do this freehand or with a straight edge. And make sure you leave a little gap so that you have plenty of space in between your lines to fill in with color. Do this over and over again till you fill your paper. Once you have completed all of your lines, you're ready to fill in with color. You can use crayons, markers, paint, whatever you'd like. I'm going to use watercolor. And whenever I'm filling in with watercolor, remember, I need to use a little bit of water. It doesn't take a lot of paint. And I'm going to focus on creating a pattern. So for my pattern, I decided that I would use the 3 secondary colors. Do you remember what they are? If the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow, then the secondary colors are green, orange, and purple. So I'm going to take some water and get the watercolor a little bit wet, and I'm going to fill in the first space right outside of my shapes. I'm going to fill that whole area in green, and I'm going to complete that. Then I'll also use my orange and my purple to fill in my other lines and create my pattern. Ta-da! We are officially finished, and I hope you guys had fun making your contour and repetitive lines.